All right, good. So with today's lesson, we are going to begin the third luminous mystery, which is the proclamation of the kingdom. But one of the things we want to say right off the bat is that the proclamation of the kingdom in Jesus' public ministry has several different aspects to it. So over the next several lessons, we're going to consider those different aspects. But today we want to speak particularly about the Sermon on the Mount, which summarizes so much of Jesus' teaching. All right, so we continue reflecting on the third of the luminous mysteries, the proclamation of the kingdom. And one of the many things that Jesus does in his proclaiming the kingdom of God is he teaches. He teaches us how to be good members of that kingdom. And really, this is summarized very well in his Sermon on the Mount in St. Matthew's Gospel. And he's going to tell us the characteristics of the people who belong to the kingdom. He's going to tell us that we need to be a good example to others, that he has come to fulfill the law of Moses. He talks about sin not just in our actions, but the fact that we can sin in our thoughts and in our hearts, the fact that we should ask for forgiveness of the people that we've offended. We should avoid those things that lead us to sin. He tells us we shouldn't take revenge, that we have to be pure, that we have to be generous with those who are in need, with our money and the things that we own, that we should even love our enemies, that we should pray and forgive, not be attached to money and the things of this life, and to not judge other people, and to also make sure that we look after ourselves and make sure that before we try and fix other people, that we're doing the right thing ourselves. So there's many beautiful things that are taught to us by Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount. And the entire Sermon on the Mount is really, like I said, one of the ways is how we know what it looks like to be in the kingdom of God. He says, "Blessed are the pure of heart." And basically what he teaches us in the Sermon on the Mount is what it means to have a pure heart, a holy heart, a heart like Jesus' heart, a heart like Mary's heart. And finally, just to end, I want to make a comment that there are some people, religious, consecrated religious, those who live as religious brothers and sisters, monks or nuns, that take the gospel so seriously that they live it as completely as they can. They give up everything just to follow Jesus and to spend a life in prayer and in service. And they take promises, vows, which they make to live the rest of their lives. They promise poverty, that is, owning only what they have to have in order to live or to do the work that God has given them. Chastity, which is guarding your heart and not giving your heart to anyone or your bodies to anyone except for Jesus himself. And obedience is listening to God's commands and also those people who are in charge of us in a way to be very humble and to surrender our own wills to do the will of God. And we want to focus today, after having looked at this story of the Sermon on the Mount and Jesus' teaching, we want to focus in our lesson today from the Catechism on one particular aspect. So of the many things that Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount, he does say some very particular things about the fifth commandment, "You shall not kill." And so we're going to focus on that commandment in today's lesson.